We're back. Piss and Push Sports Talk Radio. Season 4, Episode 8. Listen.
8 of them things.
We got a special guest. We got Mr. Curtis Symonds, president of
HBCU Go TV.
Welcome you for joining us.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Glad to be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Coach. And we want to give you that warm Piss and Push welcome. And here you go.
You are now tuned in to Picks and Push Sports Talk Radio.
And we're back. Picks and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Oh.
See, the mic is trying to be mad at us. They jealous. They get like that. They get jealous, Mr. Symonds.
I see that, man. I see you guys got something going on when you they call that the hot mic for sure.
hey, the devil always working. Devil always working.
Yeah, I see that. I figure that's part of that black and gold. You know, it's always on fire.
Pittsburgh, PA.
You got it.
So before we start, it's funny, you know, we love to give a shout out to them 412 folks. We just want to give a shout out to your sister, Mr. Symonds. You know,
shout out to Wilkinsburg.
Shout out to Wilkinsburg.
That's a good thing. I want to say hi to my sister Diana Taylor. It's in Bermuda now. She used to live in Wilkinsburg for many years.
How you doing, Miss Taylor? So, as we get in, Mr. Symonds, I just want to go ahead and give our listeners a little bit about yourself, if I may.
Yeah, I am a 40-year veteran of the media business. Started out in Xenia, Ohio, a little small area underneath Dayton, Ohio. Graduate of Central State University in 1978. I was general manager with Continental Cablevision for 3 years in Xenia. And then left there and went to Chicago and worked for ESPN for 8 years. Then went on to work for BET for 14 years as executive vice president of marketing for them. And then after 2001, I left BT after 14 years and just went out on my own, did a few things and kept moving around. And I built a gymnasium complex here. And I live in Fairfax, Virginia. I built a 65,000 square feet gymnasium with 7 indoor basketball courts that I ran for 5 years. And then I got this dream together of creating a network around Historical Black College University since I graduated from one and actually grew up on the campus of Central State University in Ohio. And so I shopped it for almost 12 years. And then 2 years ago, a good friend of mine that I knew in the media business by the name of Byron Allen with Allen Media Groups decided to buy my vision and make me part of Allen Media Group. It's been a great partnership. And our goal is to help give exposure to historical Black colleges and universities through sports, lifestyle, education, and any other means that we can try to drive the message and the value of historical Black colleges. So we've been on a heavy mission. Last year was our first year of Black college sports. We've got a 10-year deal with the SWAC. We're finishing up a 10-year deal with CIAA. We're working on a deal with SIC. And hopefully in 24, we'll begin working on a deal with the MEAC. So the goal is to control Black college sports in all manners and also give the exposure that these schools deserve to historical Black colleges through other means and not just sports, and try to show people what these students are doing as far as great students that we have across the United States in these HBCU schools who are doing great things. And that's our goal.
So Mr. Symonds was a little bit modest for you guys. He was a little modest. He was humble in that moment. So
we got a Hall of Famer on our hands.
Right. You know, he was a little modest. So
Hall of Famer right here.
I'm a backtrack and I'm gonna give my take of Mr. Symonds. So and apologize that I'm reading you guys and I'm not looking at you because I want to make sure I get everything right. Mr. Symonds is an innovative and charismatic cable television distribution and marketing pioneer. Created Hoop Magic Basketball Academy as the premier sports and entertainment venue to serve the Northern Virginia community, along with many other accomplishments and accolades, whether it was his time at BET or ESPN. Mr. Simmons is also known by his peers and business community in giving of his time and resources to engage and improve the lives of socially economic disadvantaged youth, a safe haven to learn and excel through sports activities. He is also the co-founder and CEO of HBCU Go. In addition, if I may, I would like to read a quote from your friend, Mr. Barron Allen, the chairman and co-founder of HBCU Go with you. Curtis Symonds is one of the greatest pioneers of cable industry and a visionary in the new digital era. Curtis has an impeccable reputation and is also an outstanding media executive. In addition, on April 14, 2022, you, Mr. Curtis, were inducted into the Broadcasting Cable Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
From us, from Pitts and Push, we say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Virgil
those
Harper
words.
got to vacation.
Thank you.
So what Mr. Allen said, summing it up, is that no matter how time shifted, we're talking decades that you've been.
I can't hear you there. Okay, see what's going on with the audio.
How about now?
Now I can hear you better.
So what I got from Mr. Allen's statement is this: no matter how long or how much time has passed, you have not only grown time, but you remain a sharp sword in everything that you've done. And that even as times change in the digital era, you have managed and you have created a pathway that you also top of that. The same person you were back in 1980 that you are now. We thank you because it is you, individuals like yourself, who makes it possible, who makes it exciting for us to keep what to do this thing that we call broadcasting. So we thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, if we can work on that mic though, because I can barely hear you guys. Like, I don't know what's going on with the mic now.
Come on now.
Yeah, I can see you better now. Yes.
Okay.
We good? Okay, mic check. So what was the thought process behind starting HBCU Go and why?
The thought process was that as number one, as a student athlete myself in 1978, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of exposure for struggle black colleges. And being in my years at ESPN, and then also I brought black college sports back to BET back in the day in '88. I knew that the media was not giving the proper attention to our culture as it should have. And I think I just felt very, very strongly that we have some great athletes, number one, in the HBCU circle. The problem is in today's world is that they just don't get the exposure. So no one knows where they're at. And it's a shame that when you look at the professional sports, and last year was only one HBCU that got drafted, one out of the many guys that play the game. Basketball, you don't see anything. WNBA, you don't see anything. Barely. And to me, if you went around the horn and matched some of these schools up, you would see that a lot of them played against a lot of the players who were being drafted, and some of them did very well against them. Through AAU, whatever other sport, they just didn't have the right push to get them in the right positions for it. So my goal is to really continue to start opening up that floodgate, because I coach high school basketball here in Virginia. And when you get a chance this year, follow us by a school by the name of a Catholic school by the name of Paul VI High School out of Chantilly, Virginia. We were number one in the country last year. And the thing about it is that, for example, you have Howard, you have Morgan, you have Cheney, you have all these schools close around, but none of them come into the gym to talk to any of these kids. None of them. Because in their minds, we can't touch them, which I think is horrendous, because, I challenged Jalen Rose years ago with the Fab Five after he did the documentary on the Fab Five, and said, you know what? If you guys would have took the Fab Five to an HBCU and dominated the way you did in a top five, you still would have got the accolades of the NBA as many of you got there, because it would have been a unique situation, on that. But the fact that they had an opportunity to go to Michigan and create a standard at Michigan was good for all of them. And a lot of them, again, did not know a lot about HBCUs. Now you talk to them now, they say, well, if someone would have talked to them about it, I might have looked at it harder, but no one was talking to them. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to work out across the board is getting these HBCU coaches to begin to start the relationship early. You can't talk to a kid in basketball going into junior year. If he's got any kind of steam going, you can't touch it. Now in that particular situation, you can't touch it. But if you come in your freshman year and you start showing some love, that hey man, why don't you come and you can help me build my program. If you come, other people might take the same seat at the table. And I think that's the thing that I want to try to drive is the fact that we want to try to get these coaches out there talking to these kids because a lot of kids are slipping through the crack. And basketball is terrible now because of the portal. The portal's killing HBCUs.
Changing the game.
Right. And it's great for the recruiting side for HBCUs because a lot of they'll get used guys who went to a Power 5 or a top school who didn't make it and they'll filter it down. But as far as an HBCU guy trying to go in the portal, he doesn't have a big shot. It's a very slim shot on the flip side. So we've got to educate more people on the value of these schools, especially our own culture. That's my goal, our own culture, because it's sad to hear. I live here in Virginia, and you have black kids going to predominantly white schools, and you ask them about going to the HBCU. I can't go to a black school. I got to go to Maryland. I got to go to Georgetown because that's where I know I'll get a job if I finish it, which is so much BS. It's ridiculous because it's not anymore about who you are. It's who brings you to the table. That's what it's about.
Relationship.
So if you got the right network bringing you to the table, I mean, people look at me all the time and say, man, how are you so successful? And I said, listen, I'll be real frank with you. My education I was a PE education. That's where I got my degree in PE. My goal was to follow my mother, who was a PE teacher in college at Central State. I just happened to kind of walk into a great situation in the media business, and I have a gift for gab, and that drove me into situations where people took me under their wing and helped me grow in the business. And that's really what it's all about, and when those doors can open, you have to take advantage of it. And then see the thing, I think that many young people don't understand, I try to preach it all the time, is that my goal in the media business was to create the Curtis Symonds brand. I wanted people to know who I was, what was behind Curtis Symonds. So I made it an effort to be at all the conferences that made sense, be at the right meetings that made sense, be very visible at the right time so everybody know who's that guy over there. That's Curtis Symonds. He was da-da-da-da. And that helped me network my way into different situations. And that's one of the things that I think many people today don't understand in life, the network. Every time I see some of my old employees, they always tell me, Curtis, one thing you always echo to all of us was relationships, relationships, relationships. I said, yeah, that's the game. You build a relationship with people, you will be very shocked where they fall down the road. And you want to be in a situation where when people are always amazed when they come see me, and I say, you know what, let me pick up the phone and call Ted Turner. Oh, you can call Ted Turner and he'll answer you. Yeah. I have that kind of relationship. I could call the President Discovery Channel, or I could call this person, that person, and answer my phone. And people are like, well, how do you look? That's 20, 30-year relationship, and that's what it's all about, man. When you build that, that's what it's about. And what I'm trying to do now is build the same relationships in the heart of HBCUs so that the presidents, ADs, SIDs, and others understand who I am and what I'm trying to do.
I think that this volumes to your commitment and dedication in regards to HBCUs, because if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you shopped it for 12 years?
Yeah.
So just think of the commitment and dedication to keep pushing it, and nobody's opening or trying to, I tell Push all the time, I don't need anybody to open the door, I just need a crack.
Right.
Just let me see a little sliver of light, and I can walk myself in. And the fact that you stayed consistent with it for 12 years and grinded and still fixed it and did not get discouraged, it speaks volumes to your heart and your passion that you have, and that this moment and this movement is not a movement of Mr. Symonds wants notoriety. It's a movement of this notoriety for HBCU should have been here a long time ago.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, the thing about it is that when you're educating white folks on what HBCUs are, it's kind of interesting, and even a lot of black folks who really didn't go to an HBCU. And when you chase some money, a lot of those people are the ones that didn't go to HBCUs. They heard about it, had friends attend, old family attend, but didn't really know the heart of it. And I had a lot of folks who would tell me, "Damn, man, that's a great presentation. It's just I just don't have the money to stick," because they couldn't see the long-term vision. They wanted a quick return, and I kept preaching to them. It's not a quick return. You got to build it. I mean, everything you do in life is all about building blocks. You got to build them, and we want to come out here, really in our culture, African American community. We think we can make it happen overnight. It don't happen. That's not a realistic picture. You got to crawl a little bit. You got to humble a little bit, and understand what I call all the time the grind. And I was in it for the grind. And what prepared me for it is that I had to grind for 14 years at BT. So it wasn't that much difference in me being out on the street having to grind, because I had a lot when I was a top guy driving distribution for BT. A lot of like K-Woppers say, "Curtis, nah, man, not now." And then I would convince them down the road to carry BT, because they started understanding the value of what it brought to the table. And the other thing is that like with HC Sports, there ain't a white person in the world that don't like sports. Black, white, Mexican, whatever it is. Okay. So if they can sit in front of it and see it, oh, they're gonna watch it.
Right.
They're gonna watch it. They just need to know when it comes on. That's all. So that's our driving message that we're gonna try to do to continue to educate people on HBCUs.
Can you provide a more in-depth understanding of what HBCU Go is and who y'all are?
You mean understanding what HBCU is?
Yeah.
No, what HBCU Go TV.
I'm sorry.
HBCU Go TV. Give more, if you can give the listeners who may not know or understand what HBCU Go TV is, can you give them a more in-depth understanding and description?
Yeah, it's a 24-hour streaming. It's a 24-hour streaming network that is carried now on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and YouTube. And we've got stuff going on YouTube, and we're continuously growing. Hopefully, we'll be on Tubi real soon, and we've got a couple others that our salespeople are working on. But it's a mixture of programming that is targeted to historical Black colleges and universities. We just got an Emmy the other day with a show that was hosted by DJ Flex called Spade of Spade, where we played the card game Spades, but it was all talking about with big time actors and athletes and other things about stories about their lives, about where they came from. Some of them HBCU folks, but it really was all about who they are. We got to shoot a show called The Road to Homecoming because we wanted people to get a better understanding what homecomings are like. So we traveled to FAMU, St. Augustine, and gave them a homecoming feel. Not just the game, but a behind the scenes feel. And get prepared for the game. We've had many head-to-head shots, interviews with some of the top people in the world and in the political and social world. They graduate from HBCUs talking about why it's important to go to an HBCU.
Absolutely.
To believe it. Most people can't enjoy an HBCU until you step on that campus. You got to step on that campus to get the feel. Just looking at a magazine doesn't do the job. But when you get on that and feel that sorority and fraternities and homecomings and the vibe of being around people who look like you, then you're like, damn, that's where I need to be. Why am I over here at this school at a PWI? when I should be
Come-
over here in front of my people.
It is completely different. It is different worlds.
No question.
Different worlds, hands down.
No question.
And not only is it just different worlds, but it is really family oriented. Like you don't feel ostracized. You feel like you belong.
Right. Right.
Wow. So HBCU Go TV is 24-hour live streaming, correct?
Yes.
And there aren't any additional costs or subscription fees for accessing
We
it,
are
correct?
free service.
So I know you guys. I think it's a 10-year contract with the
SWAC.
SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, some news just broke with you guys are now the exclusive partners with the SEAC, correct?
With SIC, yes. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
That was big. I have to thank you very much. I have to give shout out to Anthony Holloman, the commissioner, who has done an omen job. I was just in Atlanta this week with their Hall of Fame awards, which they haven't done it since 2014. It was a great function at the College Football Hall of Fame past Wednesday, and Anthony's on the right track with the universities and making the right moves. So we're very excited about building a relationship with the SEAC.
What are some of the things that you are most excited about coming up in this year's coverage of football, or I mean sports in general, but this year's football season with the addition of the SEAC?
Well, we're very excited because this last year we were doing just one game on Saturdays. This year we're doing double headers, which will include all three conferences, which will include SWAC, CIAA, SIC. So we're very excited about that. I mean, we're going to be going from one place to another, trying to give these schools. And the other thing that Byron has made a major investment on the production side. So you're going to see our production, I can tell you right now, can match up the big boys. I mean, we're going to be rolling. We brought some good people in. We've got some good technical folks behind us. I think when you look at it, you're going to say, oh, this ain't no behind the backyard stuff. This is a real deal. And these guys are putting the money where the mouth is.
Where do you see HBCU Go TV in 5 years?
I think we'll be a monster. I think we'll be a monster because I think that, we're already starting to see where the advertising community is really wanting to get more and more involved with us. I think now what I'm trying to do as a CEO and president of the company is raise that level in the political world. Getting the Black Caucus and other folks backing us and talking about us. I just was talking to a gentleman that's going to work. They're having the president years ago, right when Obama came and created the White House Initiative, which is all about getting HBCUs involved with the government. So they have a big conference every year. So I've been asked to attend the conference, work with all the 105 presidents, which would be big. So I think that we'll be on the market. I mean, I think that you're going to have to, when you look at college sports, you're going to have to really go with, what you look like. And I think we're going to be there. And I think that, this to me, I'm doing a BET reunion tonight, so I'm going to jump off in a few. It's our 6th annual BET reunion. I'm bringing back. I got 300 people attending, and it's like a lot of the people helped me start that were involved with BET. But I think, as I preached to them when I announced I was doing this 6 years ago at our last reunion, is that this is the second coming of BET, because I think that we're going to pull a lot of BET audience. We're going to pull a lot of alumnus involved. We're going to pull a lot of professional athletes that want to get involved via attending the HBCU or just one like a Chris Paul that want to be involved. And I think we're continuously growing because now they got a destination that they can talk about. It ain't like a one-time hit where it's like, oh, they got a special of it. No. We're 365 days a year preaching HBCU all the time.
Are y'all working with student athletes in any way, with like NIL deals or anything like that?
Yeah, we're beginning to do that. We got a lot of people coming to us from a high school side and a college side, to work with them on NILs. So yes, we would be taking it. And the other thing I think is going to be big is esports. I think esports would be another trigger that no one's really doing in our community. And our kids spend more time on video than the man on the moon. You know, so I think esports is going to be a big thing getting in HBCUs soon.
So I know you got to run, and we are grateful for your time. We just got one last question for you.
No problem.
What are your thoughts due to the recent ruling within the Supreme Court of reversing the affirmative action? Do you think it will have a positive effect on HBCUs or a negative? Why or why not?
I think it will have a negative effect on HBCU because we're already struggling in the financial community and trying to keep these kids from, their back bills and all the other stuff. And funding is hard, and that's why some of the HBCUs have gone down. Because the audience that get to attend an HBCU comes in with not a lot of money, and now when you start peeling that back, it makes it very hard for students to attend college and for colleges to survive. And that's what's making it tougher and tougher for HBCUs out here in the battle. The thing that HBCUs got to do, I believe, and I've been preaching, is the schools have got to look at the presidents more as business people. They got to bring in business people who know how to get the sponsorship, who know how to get the alumni, driving more endowment money. And I'm 100% behind the education side, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and you got to know how to drive money. You get money, then you calm a lot of your problems down. But when you got to go out there and you depend just on your tuition to drive, keeping it alive, that's not a good formula at the end of the day. And that's where a lot of schools are beginning to get caught in, because they got to raise the tuition to take care of bills and other things, but at the same time, kids can't afford it from the homes that they're coming from. So it makes it very tough. It's a hard balance. And now with the Supreme Court thing taking away a lot of that, it makes it hard. It makes it hard for the J student coming out. Very hard. So it's a tough game.
Well, Mr. Symonds, like I said, we're definitely grateful for your time. We appreciate it. We thank you for joining us. We don't take it for granted.
Real quick before we get you out there, if somebody was interested in, joining the team, the HBCU Go TV team, how can they do that?
They can reach out to, depending on what area they're in, but I just get a general area. Majority of people want to get into the programming and production area. I would reach out to the guy who has a similar name to me. His name is Kurt Symonds. I'm Symonds. I'm not Symonds. I'm Symonds.
I'm sorry.
But I go with it. You guys hurt my feelings by saying Symonds, believe me. And Kurt Symonds is my EVP of programming. So if they have any ideas, I think his email is Kurt Symonds at HBCUGo.tv.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. Just to keep your audience out there, tell them to keep watching out for us. We need all the support. We need the eyeballs. So, whatever you can do to keep promoting us out there in the air. We open up with a great game September 2nd. We have Central State University against Mississippi Valley for the Chicago Football Classic at Soldier Field, which that's going to be a big game.
Yeah. You heard it here. Mr. Curtis Symonds, president of HBCU Go TV. Season 4, Episode 8.
Pitch and Push.
Sports Talk Radio.
Thanks, guys.
You are now tuned in to Pitch and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Hey.
You guys are good, man.
Thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
All right, stay in contact. You got my email. You got my email. Hit me up. We're looking to do more podcasts and stuff like what you guys are doing, man. I want young cats like that, man. So take this email down. Hit my son who's handling that stuff. It's K Symonds, with same last name as me, at HBCUGo.tv. Hit him up.
Thank you, Mr. Symonds.
All right, guys. Take care, guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
You as well.